Today, we're going to be talking about something that spurs the mind. How can you awaken your mind, scramble it, get it into a state where it's doing something amazing with high energy? How can you achieve that? Yep, that's right. No, I'm just kidding. But that's one thing I do a lot is walking. And I'm going to talk a little bit about walking and other things that can help you achieve that state. So stay tuned, keep watching. But how does walking help me? So I will often go on 10, 20-minute walks outside with the dog or with myself. Haha, that's funny. Cat girl walking the dog. But with myself. And that really just gets my mind thinking. I make plans, I visualize. And if I'm sitting still, I don't quite have that same level of forward momentum or flow. I don't have the flow of thoughts as well. So another thing that happens is when I'm talking, you can see this when I'm talking to people too. If I'm talking on the phone, if I'm just sitting in place talking on the phone and talking to someone, it actually doesn't have as flowing of a conversation than if I was standing up, just holding the phone and walking around. It sounds stupid, but this actually makes a big difference for me. Somehow the conversation is just more exciting if I'm walking around rather than sitting down. And this is kind of personal and subjective. Different people might have different preferences and reactions here. But that's how it is for me. But yeah, walking while talking on the phone, you can see it. Also, like if I am moving to a destination, it's strange, but like if I'm sitting across from someone while talking to them, the conversation feels like it can just be like still water sometimes. And it might just could just die or could just come to a standstill, like a cold standstill, and it kind of just needs to be rebooted a little bit every so often if we're just sitting across from each other one on one. But if I'm one on one in the car with someone, suddenly the conversation flows much better. Like we're moving to a destination as well, and you can kind of just see the visual scenery going past you. And somehow I like this more. Somehow I respond better to this. Somehow the conversation flows more smoothly. Or if I'm in an Uber, this is also the case. Although with Uber, this is a little bit confounded by the fact that Uber drivers are incentivized to talk to you, make you feel like you're a great conversationalist. Like some of the times I'll get out of an Uber car and think, wow, I am so good at conversation. But no, it's just because the Uber driver was doing all that lifting. It was funny one time, an Uber driver was a person who did like a podcast, I believe. And it was kind of fun talking to him. It really felt like I was on a podcast because it was always the case that he was always just had pretty good techniques about just keeping the conversation constantly going in a way that like people don't normally do in conversation. It's kind of hard to explain. Like if you think about regular conversations, it does actually seem like they're going smoothly all the time, 100% uptime, so to speak. But somehow with this podcasting experience was a little bit different. It was, and it really felt like I was on podcast. It was pretty cool. But anyway, that all that is to say that there are different physical things you can do to activate your mind and change your mind state. If you find yourself in a stuck mind state, you may want to try doing something physical to change, to jar your mind around, change your state. And that might be as simple as just taking a walk around the house, looking at some new visual scenery, and maybe that's all you need to get back to what you want to do or to give yourself. I'll see you next time.